Welcome to Instinct, Terra Nova, ep03. In dramatic news, rain has finally hit the famously undamp era of the dinosaurs, I said sarcastically. These two idiots have gone out for a drive to celebrate and will instantly crash. Hang on! The car smacks into some small piece of water and almost explodes. As metaphors for the show itself go, it's a bit on the nose, but I'll take it.
I don't even know what I hit.
I already said it was the rain. Don't make me wrong. You wouldn't like me when I'm wrong.
Just fix the tire, Gil.
Now, a fair amount of the last episode was all about the really dangerous dinos that mostly come out at night. Mostly. And how it's generally bad to be out after dark. You'd expect them to be a little more nervous. I wouldn't, though, because I've seen a bunch of these episodes, and this is part of the course.
Sir, in the tree!
Now let that be a lesson to you. Don't be in this show again. Holy shit, not even Terra Nova can be bothered with whatever bullshit Terra Nova comes up with for an intro. The Shannon kids, Josh, Maddie, and the larva, are taking a wilderness survival class. Seems a waste of time, as main characters, they're basically invincible.
Which way is north?
That way.
And you know this how?
The moss on that tree.
Gold star, Shannon.
Moss doesn't always grow on the north side of trees, it's just usually if you're in the northern hemisphere, which this isn't because it was filmed in Australia. Plus it's ancient proto-moss. Would it really follow the rules of modern civilized moss? I don't know, and I suspect the writers don't know either.
These here are beetle grubs. They are edible, and they are nutritious.
And they appear, played by Michael Keaton, if you say their name 3 times.
Ew.
Aww, the Shannon larva's not a cannibal.
Disappointed!
You find yourself low on provisions and starving, you won't be saying, ooh.
Yeah, she would, and you'd probably have to feed it to her like giving a cat a pill. Well, that was exciting.
Dismiss. Shannon, remember the construction crews on the north side?
They're painting the north side of trees with moss to keep the colonists from freaking out. No, they have some toilets for them to clean out.
They've got some latrines that need demucking.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
You know, between her making the kid face the possibility of eating insects and telling him to shovel his own weight in himself, this one's fast becoming a favourite character. Over at the first family's bungalow, the kid's asking if she can have a plant from the garden. Okay, fair enough.
Mommy, can I have this one?
Yeah, sure, honey. I don't see why not.
Of course you can't, you're not looking. Are you assuming that no dangerous plants grow in Terra Nova? Because that's idiotic squared. A, no one briefed you on shit in Terra Nova.
Whoa.
Whoa, is that a technical term? Oh.
Sorry.
And B, letting dangerous shit grow wild is exactly the sort of dumb stuff that Terra Nova does. Oh wait, her beloved Neanderthal looks concerned.
Okay, let's find a nice pot for that.
Of course she's gonna help her plant it.
Look, Daddy. It has a mouth.
Yeah.
Anyway, the plant she found is a primitive Venus flytrap type thing, which is maybe dangerous, but luckily it's also unusually stupid because it closes its mouth to trap things that haven't got inside yet.
Whoa.
No wonder that thing's extinct in the future. I'm having trouble really quantifying how dumb this thing really must be when the smarter versions of it are literally brainless. It's like a Brennan Braga script. Oh look, what a coincidence.
It's funny, I know it's yellow, but it is an unusual hue.
Oh Christ, I wish I was watching Millennium.
That's because it's a natural pigment. And the plant it's made from doesn't exist in 2149.
Nah, that pigment does exist in the future, seeing as it's in a TV show. They should have done something weird in CGI and made it look really odd. But now let's just paint it a regular annoying shade of yellow and then say it doesn't exist in the future. Not far off when the show was made. You gaslighting fucks. That night, the youngest kid's being put into her own bed. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but she's been sleeping in her parents' bed ever since her dad was arrested, and this is a big step away from the possibility of accidental crimes. Jim's more than capable of doing his own deliberate ones. I'm not sure why they need her in a bed anyway, just make her sleep in a cupboard. Many of her most terrifying memories were spent in one. Anyway, time for some PG-rated sex scening. Or not.
What was that?
That was a mating call. I picked it up in prison. Do you like it? Nah, it's a flying thing that flew over the perimeter. Which is just rude.
Hey, Scat! Yeah, you! Scat!
Anyway, flying things are very easily intimidated by muscular bodies resembling a newly sheared sheep, so it leaves. It's too late to continue the sexing though. A flying thing and a small person with abandonment issues is a bit of a mood killer.
She needed a cuddle, I'm sorry.
In the morning, Taylor's arranging a search party for the guys who were attacked in the prologue.
Sixers? Could be.
His second guess is going to be an unusually well-armed Carnotaurus. This timing is weird because since the prologue, there's been a full day and a night. So when teens break out of the colony, they're on it in minutes, once they notice that they're missing. But when a supply run vanishes, they leave it for 36 hours. Just in case they went on a meditative retreat in the middle of the jungle, crawling with stuff that can kill them, some of which actually crawls. Anyway, back to the Sixers.
Man, I'd like to get a line on where they're hiding out and hit them for a change.
In time, Wash.
Go to the quarry where they're mining stuff. It's not like they can hide at.
They control the quarry.
Over at the Medibay, Elizabeth runs into Malcolm, an old friend of hers who arrived on the 5th pilgrimage. Must be weird to meet someone that you know, who technically, from your point of view, was dead a couple of days ago.
Listen, you're never going to believe this. This is Malcolm Wallace. We were at university together.
You're joking. Wow, that's incredible.
Wouldn't go that far. Uh-oh, she knows a man. This causes jealousy. Jim's here to pick up a medic for the rescue mission, and speaking of the mission, why hasn't he been given a uniform? I can buy Taylor not wearing the armor, it's useless, and he's wearing invisible plot armor, but is the lead dude wearing a plot uniform? And why don't the grunts wear jungle camo? Fuck movement, or the dinosaur's vision based on fashion?
One thing I know for sure about Sixers, they tried to put a bullet in your head the other day.
Yeah, it's the only part not protected by plot armor.
Any idea why they want you dead?
Yeah, but I'm also enigmatic.
Way I figure it, everybody's got their reasons.
So as part of the ongoing plot, Taylor asks Jim to use some of his assigned cop at birth powers to see if he can find out who's been feeding the Sixers intel.
I need to know who. Somebody's been feeding her intel.
Just this once, for a treat, there is actually a traitor and it's not just the Terra Novans being shit. But that's for another episode.
What the hell did this to them?
I think it was dinosaurs.
But it wasn't Sixers.
I know, it was dinosaurs. Why is this a mystery? Okay, yeah, it was clearly the flying thing, which technically isn't a dinosaur, but I'm a layman. For simplicity, I'm using dinosaurs as a generic term for prehistoric lizard things. So it was obviously dinosaurs. Anyway, have you ever considered maybe adding doors to these things? I know you have a spotty relationship with the concept of walls, seeing as that's what you think these things are. But I know you have the hang of doors. The armored car last episode had them. Josh and Sky are visiting the market, talking about inane shit and getting kebabs made from rugby balls with teeth, when Josh spots a guitar.
You know, it's yours for just 65 terras.
Clever, you don't need to waste brain power remembering what your currency is called. I'd make a joke, but I'm pretty sure this is how the euro got its name.
60 terras a lot?
Yeah, kinda.
We like to keep it vague, it's less embarrassing for the writers that way.
Tell ya, don't think too long. Things move fast around here.
Before you know it, boom! It's the Triassic. The bodies of the missing men have been taken to the medical center, where, as usual, Elizabeth is the only person doing important work. Good thing plots don't happen when she's asleep. Plots like, where the fuck did the third body come from?
I'm going to need a few hours to do a complete post-mortem, but at first glance I can tell you this. These men were attacked from above.
Mostly because I have eyes.
I mean, all their wounds are to the face and to the neck.
Why is this a mystery? The jungle is full of things that kill. Shit happens. Finding out about everything that kills people is good, but that's not the mystery presented. They're acting as though people being attacked in the jungle is unusual, when it was a big part of the plot of the pilot. I wouldn't mind so much, but that was the last episode. Anyway, with Elizabeth up to her eyes in bodies to autopsy, Jim is to parent for about 0.5 hours before freaking out.
Not now, sweetie. General. Ow.
Dad?
Said not now.
And then, somehow it gets worse.
How do you know if a boy likes you?
He doesn't know. No boys ever liked him back. Something that pains him to this day.
So what's this? Some kind of wine?
Give him another glass and let him bring up your old friend, and I am sure it will be.
Did you and he, ever...
Date? Maybe. Half a minute.
I knew it.
Jim!
So, it turns out that the things that attacked the guy's car are an unknown species. Probably not at all connected with the unknown species of flying things that he earlier yelled at.
Get out of here! Yeah, you! Hey, Scat!
Kinda makes you wonder why there's not a giant net over Terra Nova. There's a number of known flying things from this time that can maybe kill people. Anyway, another night, another attempt at PG-rated fucking, another invasion of the flying things. Having fed on the minor characters, they're now drawn to the musk of the mains.
I think we just found out what killed those men.
These birds were about yay high.
Not birds, Shannon.
The birds are the things on the ground that eat you, not the flying things that eat you. The Cretaceous is hard. Anyway, Taylor's pissed off because he had to bury those 3 men this morning.
What we need to do is get a science team on this right away so that we can observe these animals and draw up an interaction protocol so people know how to behave around them.
No protocols today, Malcolm.
I won't let you study this new animal until I get revenge. Because studying a species until you know how to avoid it killing you won't achieve anything. Nah, kinda. He won't let Malcolm study them until he's already studied them.
No protocols today, Malcolm. Until I know what these things are and why they're attacking my people.
I'm not sure if Taylor knows how studying works.
We have research teams in the field.
That's enough. We'll research another day. No discussion here.
Should we maybe put a net over the compound? No, why would we do that? Anyway, still childishly jealous, Jim has a suspicion, soon proven right, that his wife was recommended for a job by Malcolm.
She was at the top of a very short list. Matter of fact, list was submitted to me by the aforementioned Malcolm Wallace.
Which, once again, makes me wonder how they're sending messages back.
To the future!
The pilot said that they hadn't cracked sending people or items back home yet.
It's a one-way trip, Josh. There's no way back.
I'm serious, does someone put a time capsule down in a prearranged spot? Or do they just beam messages through the portal somehow? Okay, it's probably that, but the portals only open at certain times. Fuck it, the more I spend thinking about this, the less time I have to wonder why someone brought a Komodo dragon back in time with them. Elizabeth and Malcolm are talking about life, love, and memories past, but mostly bullshit.
There's still hope for humanity yet.
Well, always the optimist.
Which I'll skip. Josh is trying to work out a trade for the guitar. The seller turns down some new music.
They're bands, you know, music. Hey, I'm second pilgrimage. It's all just noise to me.
Taylor has been here for 7 years. That means pilgrimages come through on average every 8 months. You've been here for 5.5 years, Grandad.
What else you got?
Besides, why isn't there a thriving market here for new music, TV, films, and books and whatever? Whatever Terras are worth, I can see new media, easily copied, making a fuckload more than a fucking guitar. I know that if I was stuck in this fucking jungle, surrounded by the human equivalent of wallpaper paste, I'd fucking jump at the chance to get my hands on whatever deranged shit future Netflix has put up since I left. You know, maybe they finally finished Stranger Things with a group of 90-year-olds pretending to be kids. Anyway, for whatever reason, the trader doesn't want the music. Admittedly, it is probably crap. And instead is interested in his necklace.
Looks real nice. What is that, silver or platinum? Yeah, it's platinum, but it's not for sale.
Which he won't part with because his girlfriend in the future gave mad.
It was from her, wasn't it?
Her name was Kara.
Her name will be Kara. To her, your name was Josh. Try to remember how time works. Josh's plot this season is trying to make arrangements to bring her here. In the desperate extremes, he'll go to Duad, when he could probably have just had her added to one of the recommended lists, because this place already rotates around his parents. Anyway, more of the flying things arrived and started attacking people. Originally, I thought they were after him, because, like crows, they remember faces and enjoy revenge. But nah, that'd be too much like logic, so they just mistook Sky for Tippy Hedron. But mysteriously, as suddenly as the attack started, it ends. Off screen because it's cheaper that way.
They were just like the ones from last night, Dad, but there were hundreds of them, and they just kept on swooping down.
I don't know what finally drove them off. They just kind of flew off all at once.
Probably boredom. Almost happened to me a few times.
We got 36 wounded, 3 seriously, but I'm told they'll survive and no fatalities.
Well, we got unlucky this time. Tell the towers to keep an eye on the sky.
Okay, now he's learned that dangerous flying things come from the air. Maybe after the next couple of attacks, he'll realize that things can be shot with bullets.
Tell them to goose the frequency on the sonics as well.
Where are those interaction protocols when you need them, huh?
As yet unwritten, because he worked for a deeply stupid man. Anyway, orders or no orders, he's come with a theory.
It's no accident that we haven't seen this species in the region before because they're not from this region. They're migrating.
This whole show is kind of migrating. Because they've been here for years and the species is new, he figures it's a massive non-annual migration. Possibly species-wide.
Sometimes even species-wide.
Meaning what?
Sometimes even species-wide.
Meaning what?
Sometimes even species-wide.
Meaning what?
There are a lot more coming.
Which really would be a perfect time to start killing them. if these people were sensible. One of the many factors in a successful colony is making sure that the local wildlife doesn't kill you. Realistically, these guys should have been killing the predator dinosaurs for years now. But they don't. They save the real guns for the only endangered species in the area. Humans!
There. Under the canopy.
There's millions of them.
At least. Fire a sonic blast into the trees.
Sonic boom!
Well, that's not good.
So Taylor finally realizes what's happened. When they first arrived and began work on the colony, they found something.
We found fragments, thousands and thousands of them. Eggshells.
And just figured that whatever laid it had moved on.
I mean, it was deep enough that we figured whatever had laid them had long since moved on.
They didn't have a colony yet. How did you work out that the egg-laying things wouldn't come back? The eggs they found were old, but that doesn't mean there weren't other, newer eggs around. And if the eggs were old, noticeably old 7 years ago, then how long do these things go between reproducing? And the eggs were found underneath stuff. Lots of vegetation, rocks, sediment, who knows, but underneath stuff.
I mean, it was deep enough that we figured whatever had laid them had long since moved on.
So, how long do these things go between reproducing? My guess would be at least 20 years. And what kind of soon-to-be-extinct moron species only has a new generation every 20 years? Okay, yeah, several, including us. But to be fair, in this show, we're well on the way to extinction, so the point stands. And these things are small. Small animals tend to reproduce more quickly, gestation takes less time, because more things tend to kill them.
Actually, one of the reasons we built here is because, well, they made the soil so fertile.
Anyway, why didn't Malcolm know about any of this? As the head of science, you'd think he'd know exactly why they chose this spot and what makes the soil so fertile.
We built Terra Nova on their breeding ground. We built Terra Nova on their breeding ground.
Technically, some other people did, you just arrived later. They locked the colony down and everyone's told to hide indoors, which was fair enough, but they still not put up a giant fucking net. Anyway, Taylor's suddenly embraced studying things.
So if we come up with a couple of specimens, you can figure out a way we can fight these things?
Just in time, seeing as they expect the rest of the migration to arrive in about 24 hours.
At their current rate of migration, the pterosaurs will be here by nightfall tomorrow.
More than enough time to find a live specimen, followed by some mega Star Trek science bullshit. Naturally, because he's the star, Jim is sent to capture the specimen.
You want to do some hunting tonight?
Why is a police officer his best choice to capture the specimens? A, he's not a hunter, and B, what fucking idiot thinks American cops are good at taking things alive? Oh wait, Taylor is exactly that kind of fucking idiot. Plus, there's a limited amount of speaking parts, and setting up a great hunter character in this colony of Nimrods couldn't possibly make sense, what with him being surrounded by dangerous animals and stuff. Sarcasm, sarcasm, sarcasm. Though to be fair, the flying things seem to be attracted to his familial musk, so maybe he's just gonna wander around until they get amorous again. Anyways, Malcolm's trying to brief him on what to expect on his little hunting trip. Jim decides to be a jealous dick again, assuming that Malcolm recommended Elizabeth as a long-term mating strategy.
You weren't expecting to see me here, were you?
Because apparently this whole episode is about mating and fuck-ups.
You thought I was still in jail.
Or he gave a short list of suggestions of people he knew were good, personally, rather than by reputation, because he knew they'd be trapped together, and she was the best. Dick.
I recruited her because she was the best person for the job.
Hope I'm wrong about you, Malcolm. I really do.
What I am getting from this scene is that Jim's apparently not only a jealous dick, but he appears to think that his wife is shit at her job.
Hope I'm wrong about you, Malcolm. I really do.
You know what? I hope Malcolm's later revealed to be gay. That would be fucking hilarious. Cockhead. Anyway, in a brave narrative choice, the episode decides to avoid the possibility of excitement by skipping him searching out the thing's temporary nests, avoiding being killed by them, and finally spending hours trying to get good at the whole not killing the stuff you shoot at thing.
I brought back 2 specimens and took them back to the research lab.
Gee, wow. That was easy.
How long can we last?
If we're lucky, maybe the night.
Maybe the night? They've not destroyed anything hardier than a dude's face. Just stay indoors behind your defensive wicker. Oh, and now they skip the excitement of them doing mega Star Trek science bullshit, because they've almost instantly synthesized their pheromones.
Pheromones.
I was hoping for something a little more lethal, Doctor.
Did this thing skip a whole fucking act? Anyway, the plan is this. Create more of the pheromones to lure the flock away from Terra Nova, where they'll find a spot to disperse a lot of the pheromones, creating a new breeding ground.
We might be able to lure them to another location.
Establish a new breeding ground away from Terra Nova.
Naturally, all this takes just a few hours.
Well, how long will that take?
A couple of hours to get the solution right.
Now all this is clearly ridiculous, but I stop myself from getting annoyed by it by reminding myself that for all their fancy language and zany science, they're technically saving the colony via a giant drug-induced mass rape orgy. Which is just grimly hilarious. Yeah, the flying things came to fuck, but they wanted to fuck on their own terms.
I want confirmation that this place is locked down. I mean sealed tight. Let's get to work.
Okay, I get why you have the soldiers outside, but they're not even in helmets and they're facing things that attack from above. And they're aiming the gun at the ground! The majority of the soldiers have been sent to look after the population directly. Rather than billeting everyone in a single, easily defended place, they've just assigned a soldier to each home. Each home has 5 people, even not counting the soldiers not sent to the homes. That's 1 soldier for every 5 civilians. There are a lot of people here. Why are they having trouble with the Sixers? Let me do a little maths. Assuming the amount of people in each pilgrimage is the same, and assuming that all the 6th pilgrimage became Sixers, then the soldiers well outnumber them. The Sixers have 1/10 of the population of the colony, the Shannons arrived in the 10th pilgrimage, and the soldiers are at least 1/5 of the colony. So the soldiers outnumber the Sixers 2-1. So why haven't they won yet? This is probably why they struck with the 6th pilgrimage, any later than they comically outnumbered from the start. And outgunned as supplies keep coming for the colony. Of course, whoever sent the Sixers didn't realize that the Terra Novans are fucking incompetent. Anyway, then...
I want confirmation that this place is locked down. I mean sealed tight.
And now... Why did I decide to get my driving license today? Oh, the science medicalish bay is holograms. Holograms of science. Another expensive visual effect that's not aged well. But they're definitely taking shit seriously. Taylor's in a muscle suit. And it's Stephen Lang. He's already ripped to begin with.
Are you gonna be okay?
Oh, fuck, I hope not. Anyway, Sky decides that this is a great time to take up gambling.
Hey, you know what? Bet you 60 Terrans we don't make it.
That's a lame-ass bet. If you win, you can't collect.
Yeah, but then she'll be dead and away from here, and that'll make her the real winner.
No, but if you do, at least you can buy that guitar.
Well, I bet this goes nowhere. Do not tempt me with a good time show. You know, if you just stamped in it, you'd not only have invented pate, but not revealed that the windows are as weak as a scrapped. And was it too hard to ask her to look scared? She was smiling! So they're safe. Anyway, the pheromones were finished. Taylor and Jim drove to the new breeding ground and set up the whole thing off screen. You can't show everything in 40 minutes, you gotta make some choices in your narrative, and whoever did this chose poorly.
Listen.
Damn effective pheromones, considering they started releasing it and instantly drove away without circling the colony and making sure they all got a good smell first. We forgot to leave the pheromones behind! Everybody run!
What happened out there?
Things got a little exciting.
And we realized it'd probably end up on the cutting room floor. Excitement's expensive, and holograms are much more important. And in case you're wondering, they never explain how they got those cuts and scrapes. The flying things were trying to get to the pheromones. There's no way they would have survived jettisoning it by hand. So I can only assume that the Sixers smuggled a velociraptor on board.
As near as we could tell, they took to the place like it was home.
Thanks. Now, if you think that they're noisy when they're coming at you, you wouldn't believe the racket they make when they start.
I could barely concentrate on beating myself off, it was so loud. And it turns out that off-screen, again, Malcolm worked out that they breed every 9 years.
And then, 9 years from now, Malcolmus terrasauria will migrate to its new spawning ground.
I don't know how he worked that out, and I'm wondering why Taylor and all mistook 2-year-old eggs for really old eggs, and why they had to dig down to find them. But maybe they just really didn't feel like walking to a new site. So Malcolm gets some side-eye for naming the species after himself.
Malcolmus terrasauria.
Which is fine, according to the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. It's against the rules to name a species after yourself. But to be fair, they won't be around for a while, so maybe you shouldn't care. Anyway, time for the other plot that's about fucking to conclude with some fucking. I have a question that's tangentially related to this. The son is white like his dad and the daughters are Asian like their mum. Did someone in casting badly misunderstand how ethnicity usually works? Or are the kids on an ethnicity spectrum so subtle it's barely noticeable? Or is the son from a previous marriage, which raises more questions about how the two kids max law works. Maybe that's partially why the dad was jailed. The government was tired of dealing with the dad's excitable cock. Or maybe the son is meant to be Eurasian, but someone figured that his eyebrows were convincing on their own. I know it's possible for biracial siblings to look like different ethnicities, but in a TV show this dumb, it looks like a fucking cartoon. Lady and the Tramp in particular. Anyway, this was bad, but not quite as long as the earlier ones, so that was good. And you know, nothing quite makes me stop missing 1990s era Star Trek than seeing some more of its hackier writers' work.
Holy fucking shit, it's a dinosaur, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?